Welcome to Clear Play, powered by Typico Sportsbook. I'm your host, Tony Anderson, and we are talking Final Four. Bet for the Win's Caroline Darney and Prince J. Grimes are going to give us their premium picks. But first, we have former NBA stars Darius Miles and Quentin Richardson, and they are going to give us their Final Four picks. Darius and Quentin, what's going on, man? How y'all doing?
What's up with it?
Good, man.
Hey, man. Big fans of y'all. I remember back in the day when y'all scored, y'all was hitting them with the knucklehead joints, man. I appreciate y'all having y'all around. It's some exciting teams right now in the Final Four. You know, who do you like to win it all? We got Villanova, Duke, Kansas. You know, who do you think is going to take the whole thing?
I think Villanova, man. I think they're a tough team. You know what I'm saying? They always are hard-nosed and edgy. And I think when you get this late in the tournament, that those type of characteristics can pay off for you. So, you know, I mean, I know that Duke UNC is going to be an all-time epic battle. And I kind of look at like they may not have a lot left in the tank, whoever come out of that battle. So I think Villanova, man, they battle tested. I feel like every few years or so, you know, that Coach Wright finds himself back in the big dance or back with opportunity. So I know he has a lot of experience too.
Darius, what team do you believe is going to take it all?
I think I'm rooting for North Carolina. I want them to win. The young boy, Love, he's playing well. Lewis, been watching his career since high school. Proud of what he's doing in this tournament. I think they look good for him to get a championship, bring one of them back to the city.
We appreciate you, gentlemen, and I'm excited to have y'all back here next time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
You just heard from Darius Miles and Quentin Richardson. Now we have two other special guests, Bet for the Win's Caroline Darney and Prince J. Grimes. Now, we're going to look ahead to the Final Four, but first, we want to look back at the Elite Eight. Caroline, talk to me about some of your takeaways from the last round.
Yeah, as you mentioned, you know, the dream is over for St. Peter's, but one last strut up for my folks from Jersey City. It was a ton of fun to watch, and they ran into, I think, a Carolina team that's unbelievably hitting their stride. I think we've seen them, you know, that the way that they made a statement against UCLA, I think we a little bit saw this coming, but they did something that Kentucky, Murray State, Purdue could not do, and that was stifle the St. Peter's offense. So I'm really impressed with what I've seen from Carolina in the last couple rounds. And then you look at on the other side, Kansas is really a team that we haven't talked a lot about. And I think they're kind of saying like, hey, what about us? Because they looked flawless almost in the second half against Miami. Miami had a great first half scheme. I don't know what Bill Self said at halftime, but it clearly worked. Huge run in the second half. And I'm not sure that really anyone is playing as well as Remy Martin right now. That might be a bit of a stretch, but he's playing great, and it's hard to, you know, they're going to have a good test against Villanova, but I'm excited to see what Kansas can do.
All right, Prince, jump in there. What do you think? What are some of your takeaways?
No, I want to stick with Kansas because, man, I was just impressed with how they kind of stuck to it. You know, Miami is a team that can really muck up the game and make things difficult. And for the first half, you know, Kansas kind of went through that. But the second half, they really took off on Miami. David McCormick played like a man possessed. He's just a big guy who, when he has it going, 6 or 7 from the field, you know, he's really tough to stop down there in the paint. Villanova's going to have his hands full with him. And, you know, Kansas got out and ran, and they played off of each other's energy. So I was really impressed with what I saw from them. And then Duke, you know, Duke is just such a deep team. And we knew they were deep coming into the tournament. You just kind of question whether these young guys would kind of have the resolve to, you know, play against some of these tougher opponents that were more experienced and kind of defended. But, you know, these guys are stepping up and they're playing with so much confidence now. A.J. Griffin led them last game. Before that, it was Jeremy Roach and Paolo Banchero. It's just so many guys they can go to. And so look out for Duke.
Now it's an all blue blood Final Four. We have some super exciting teams, Duke, Kansas. You know, Prince, talk to me about your picks for this upcoming round.
So I like both of the favorites this round in the Final Four to win against the spread. I like Kansas and Duke. Just when you think of Duke playing Carolina, I just trust more of their guys to show up. Carolina, you can probably write in what you're going to get from Armando Bacot and Brady Manick, but between Caleb Love and R.J. Davis, those guys rarely show up on the same day, whereas I just feel better about Duke and how deep they are. And then when you think of Kansas, I just think it's hard for Villanova to overcome the injury to Justin Moore. You know, he's so important to what they want to do. Their second leading scorer. He defends at a high level. And, you know, that puts a lot of pressure on Colin Gillespie to do a lot of the ball handling and facilitate dictate a lot of the offense. And so I think Kansas has the pieces to take advantage of that.
So Prince taking the favorites. Caroline, do we got some upset specials going on? Talk to me.
Well, I'm going to definitely go. I think I'm going with Duke in the first game, or I guess they're technically the late game. But there's a lot of pressure on Duke in this Coach K's last run, the whole Duke-Carolina meeting in the tournament for the first time, which is wild. You can go over all the stats that are like, they've met. This will be the 100th meeting, I think it is. So it's just this wild amount of history and statistics. But Carolina really had the perfect possible send-off for K with that beatdown at Cameron. And now they got to try and do it again in a bigger setting where Duke might be out for revenge. And so I like the over in that one, 150.5. I think it was 94-81 when they last played. So both of these teams, especially the way that they're playing, I think are going to put up some points. But I kind of like the storyline with Duke, so I think I'm going to go with Prince there. I like the points and the over. But I agree the Justin Moore injury might be too much for Villanova to overcome. If there's someone I think that can figure out a way to get the most out of his team and system, it's Jay Wright at this point. So I don't think that it's going to be a blowout, but I think that Villanova is going to have a bit of an uphill climb. And just the way that Kansas has been playing, it's hard to pick against them at this point. So I don't know. I think I agree with Prince on that one too.
Surprise, surprise. I agree with you both. Not much controversy there. I love Villanova, but I feel like Kansas is going to take it. And I picked Duke to win it all, so I'm going with Duke as well. Those are my picks. Thank you guys for joining us at Premium Picks. I'm Tony Anderson signing off for Clear Play. And make sure you go to Tipico and lock in your bet right now.